everyone, Kiki here, and I'm on chapter 11 of Shadow Ninja um, for the Facebook. Um, so, lots has been happening. Zagi's, in a way having a downward spiral because of to get his full power that he desperately wants to help his father. The only way for him to do that is that his father has to die. And the past few days on this, that Asagi said, like, give me a few days to think about it. And he's been, it's on the last day, and Asagi has been, not himself. And of course, he's not going to be himself because his, it's his only family. So with that, it's just been a downward spiral for him, and it's like, it's kind of crazy. So let's continue. Okay. Kiki, I'm sure you don't have anything better to do, so will you listen to a story about my past? I nodded as I wiped the sweat off his body. I might end up just listening the entire time, but that's fine. I just want to talk and gather my thoughts. Asagi exhaled, prepared himself, and opened his mouth. So, where should I begin? Asagi's eyes wandered around for a bit as he tried to think of how to start the conversation. I waited for his words in silence. My powers as a diviner have been underdeveloped ever since I can remembered. However, Father never gave up on me. He always helped me train. My father Mukurin has had problems with his chest ever since then. He's been sick ever since I can remember. And yet he always been worried about me when he should have been worried about himself. He has been there for me, and I am proud to have him as my father. That's why I wanted to awaken my power so as soon as possible. Take over the Himuro Shrine as the rightful heir. I wanted to give him time to relax. Wanted him to not have to worry about me any longer. I wanted, or wishes of Asagi, where now I think of the past, it was heart-wrenching. My family has been protecting the Himuro Shrine of Nagasaki throughout the generations. I cannot let that end now. McCurran also knows that, so he trained me in the arts of a ninja as well, since my powers as diviner were lacking. Though the generations, my family has been known for ninjas becoming diviners as well. McCurran used to also direct work under Makoto's father, Turu Nakagawa as a ninja. Makoto's father? Our fathers knew each other. I had been working for the Nakagawa family in the shadows long before Nagasaki vigilante even existed. Makoto, Shintaro, and I were the founders of the Nagasaki vigilante. It was pretty tough at first, but all it all worked out in the end. The corner of Asaki's mouth faintly curved upward as he had remembered something of his past. The Nakagawa family were apparently also concerned about the head family arrogant attitude, so they sometimes protect the Nagasaki immoral family from the head family. I owed the Nakagawa family. I wanted to pay them back. I wanted to help Makoto. I want to develop my powers as a diviner, but my father is also very important to me. I could tell that Asaki was being honest with how he felt, and that was why it was so painful. Whew, Jesus Christ. It's kind of hard that he wants to protect his father and then also help Makoto. So it broke my heart. My arms that were wrapped around Asaki naturally tensed up. Saki suddenly glazed into my eyes so gently. I was so overcome with so many emotions, then they went away, and then I let them get the best of me once again after so much endurance. I just wanted to see you. What? I have a lot of respect for your determination. You lost your brother, so you stuck into the Nagasaki evangelising yourself. I want to save your. You want to save your village, and you're going to avenge your brother. You even cut a deal with the vigilante. There were so many times where you could have just given up. What keeps you going? I pounded to myself in search for the answer to his question. However, the moment I placed my hand on my chest, the answer just naturally came to me. I'm sure it's just because of what my brother said to me. Oh. Okay. Your brother who passed away? My brother Sheena always said, the one who leads the village must always act in the name of justice. My brother died for his belief, and I carry out my brother's will based on my own beliefs. I paused for a moment after saying that. I mentioned Shino's name had a subtle effect on me. The one who leads the village must always act in the name of justice. I wonder what I can do to be just as the successor of Himura Shrine. Asaki's eyes began to wander as if he were thinking a bit about something. I was doing that purification ritual under the waterfall in order to clear my mind of any doubt. That's when your face popped into my head, Kiki. Me? In other words, why I wanted to get stronger, to protect, Another reason why I wanted to get stronger is to protect the girl that I'm in. You're in love with? You're Asagi. What? I thought I was hearing things like, Asagi, why? My eyes naturally opened wide, and I looked carefully at Sasaki. Asagi, on the other hand, began to blush and averted his lace. Oh, you're so blushing. Sasaki, I. No doubt about it. I'm in love with you too, Asaki. I wanted to help you. I wanted to be there for you. Asaki was in so much pain. I wanted to support him. There was only one thing that was giving me the strength, and that was my love for Asagi. After realizing that all of these urges that I have been having all made sense, Asagi looked at me and creased his eyes in a slight odd manner. What's wrong? I was thinking how much it, it's like you used to straight up tell me how much you cared about me too. That's another thing I liked about you, Kiki. Good to know, Asagi, that you liked my strength and admiration. Okay, anyway. It's not like I laugh at you. I'm not that rude. Asaki's behavior did not change despite the fact that confessing your feelings to someone takes quite a bit of courage. He laughed at his unusual laid-back manner and kept his eyes on me the entire time. I also love it when you get all worked up like that. Wow, Asagi. Asagi. You're terrible, you know that? You're just going to have to put up with that. Couldn't help but pout a little after seeing how much fun Asaki's appearing to be having. However, there's also no way for me to hide how happy I was that we felt the same way for each other. I had finally put our feelings into words. We had put our feelings, blah, 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 and I could feel a strong bond between us. Yeah, it was night. That meant that it was time for Asaki to fulfill his promise to Makurin. Asaki and I nestled up against each other and quietly waited for the time pass by. Asaki's fever decided to go down. Asaki suddenly stood up and walked over to the back of the room. Then he pulled something off of the shelf and handed it to me after he came back. Okay. Now, I got this one. Let's continue. It was simply a woman's coat with a traditional crystal bead attached to it. This is one of the only things I have to remember my mother by. I was told that if I ever found the one someday, I was to give it to her. This was your mother's? Yeah, she passed away when I was still a kid, though. It was just my father and me from then on, Saki said before lovingly gazed down at the keepsake. I never thought a unskilled diviner like me would ever need it, though. But now that I have made up my mind, I want you to have it, Kiki. Saki had such a serene look on his face when he handed me the coat. Clearly, he made up his mind. Now we're going to see what he picked. I could not even imagine how conflicted he was, and I could not even imagine how much pain he must have been in. I held in my tears and gazed directly into Azaki's eyes. Okay. I bit down onto my lips and nodded as I accepted the coat from Azaki. I could immediately tell the soft coat was from a high quality fabric. Thank you, Asaki said before adjusting his collar. Then he quietly made his way to the head building of the shrine. Okay. We arrived in the main building. Recurrent is quietly sitting as he waited. Saki slowly approached Recurrent. I kept my distance and watched over them from behind so that I couldn't get in the way. Have you made a decision, Asaki? Recurrent looked up at Asaki and smiled as if he could tell that Asaki had made up his mind. Before that, I have something that I wanted to ask you as your son, Asaki strongly stated, causing Recurrent to blink in mute amazement. Asaki did not waver as he stared directly in Recurrent's eyes. I want to hear your opinion about this ritual as my father, not the head of the family. Recurrent narrowed his eyes after hearing Asaki say that. You have always been such a loving and caring son. Recurrent suddenly displayed a tender-hearted expression. Recurrent looked Asaki right back in the eye and opened his mouth. Then let me tell you about this ritual, the real meaning behind this ritual, as your father. Recurrent then paused as if he were carefully thinking of the right words to say next. After that, he closed his eyes and began slowly speak. When you were born, you were feared by the head family for having a highest spiritual powers out of all the heirs in Himuro Shrine in history. Highest spiritual. Wow. Okay. What? Despite to perhaps due to being the first time Asagi to hear this, he was obviously confused. Therefore, you are aligned by the head family and your life was in danger. You would actually summon evil spirits sometimes who would, in return, to kill you. I couldn't take my eyes off of you. I was worried about you as your father. I borrowed the strength of the god of the land and sealed a portion of your spiritual energy within me. Recurrent lightly patted his chest and stopped speaking for a moment. Zaki and I overcame with surprise. We all could continue to listen. Then, as your father, I decided in return the spiritual power back to you after you became an adult. However, this ritual is taboo at the Himura Shrine. The one who breaks this taboo must pay it with their lives in order to remove the seal. I have been pretending to have a chest condition this entire time. I cut my life short in order to protect the seal. And I learned that my time is almost up. Wow. Okay. So that happens. already. Therefore, I always planned to break the seal. When the time has come and you had matured into an adult who could control these spiritual powers, the current exhaled once and looked at us. Asagi, whose eyes were wide open in dismay, appeared to be at loss for words. One day you brought Kiki here with you. At first I thought she was going to be someone that you were going to have watched out for and protect. However, I learned that Kiki stood up for you and protected you from some priest from the head family. McCarran noticed that I was slightly blushing and gently smiled. That's when I realized that as long as you were with Kiki, you would be okay, even if I broke the seal and returned the powers back to you. After seeing McCurran quietly nodded at me, I could tell that he trusted me. Saki, you learned that what it meant to protect someone after you found Kiki. And at the same time, Kiki is looking after you and protecting you as well. I am certain that now it is time to return these spiritual powers back to you. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. These truths were hard to handle. I was sure that we couldn't be able to bear it if we were alone. But because we were together, we were able to calmly upset the facts. Oh, poor Zagi. McCarran gave me a wink before instantly lowered his voice. The seal is taking its toll on my body, and I could tell that my time is almost up. I was actually born with high spiritual powers like Kiyosaki, and my father used to protect me and watch over me as well. I went through the same struggles and felt the same pain as you did. That's why your kindness makes me so happy. Oh no, Asagi! Oh no! Oh, I feel so. Oh, that's Asagi. I know I'm going to cry at some point. Jesus Christ. Asagi says, Dad. That was all Asagi could say in his choking voice. After seeing Asagi like this, McCurn's lips softly curled up. But Asagi, even though this secret art might be considered taboo, if this could bring happiness to my son, then there's nothing that I could make me happier as a father. McCurn's eyes did not waver. He appeared to have already made his mind up. There was an unshakable father and son bond they shared, a warm feeling of love, desired for his son to find happiness. I became fraught with emotion just thinking about it. I could feel absolute bond between them, and my vision gradually started to get blurry. Father Saki said, voice with hoarse and struggled to say just that one word. I could tell that there was so much that he wanted to say. He grinned as if he were about to cry as he looked right into his father's eyes. I will undergo the trial, and I am proud to be your son. McCurran did not say another word. We slowly walked towards the stone door of the trial ground. Asaki lined up next to McCurran. I could not get between this bond that they had as a father and son. So I watched the two off in silence. They faded into the darkness of the night without saying a word. However, words were not needed. There was a strong tie keeping the two tightly together. Well, that was that. And yeah. So, with that, um, Saki is going off now, doing the trial to get his full powers. And, a lot of emotions um, were happening. I almost cried. Because, oh, freaking Asaki almost made me cry. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this sad, sad one. Jesus. The only upside of this was that Asaki and Kiki, you know, had their moment of truth of their feelings. Other than that, everything else was sad, and it almost made me cry, and that was not good. Cause if I start crying, I sound like a freaking baby, and that's not good. That's definitely not good. So I hope I see you guys in the next video. Bye.